Hello everyone, it's Mayor Eric Pappenfuss and I am here with Parks and Recreation Director Kevin Sanders. We are at beautiful Italian Lake on a wonderful fall day, and we're here to announce the completion of yet another exciting public-private partnership here to build a brand new pavilion. It will allow for a multitude of functions to occur here at Italian Lake. And the pavilion was a project that was supported by the city, but predominantly paid for by private investors like F&B Bank, which made a tremendous commitment to get this done. Now there'll be more on the pavilion, but we wanted to let the public know that it was up. It's a new feature for Harrisburg. This, along with some of the improvements for the greenhouse, really represent a continued investment on the part of the community to support all of our parks and all of our playgrounds. Kevin, tell us about this project and how it came to fruition.
Yes, this project, probably over, I'd say, 6 to 8 months of thought, became much more activity, probably in the last 4 months. This special interest group really kept pushing it. We went over a lot of different drawings, a lot of different looks for this venue, and we finally settled in on one, and the product is actually even better than we thought it would be.
It's really beautiful. It has a handcrafted, almost an Amish construction look to it, doesn't it? And tell me, historically here at Italian Lake, was there at one point a pavilion?
Yes, Italian Lake did have a pavilion here that was put up. You can still see part of the pole over there that just roofed over the stage. But I believe that with the new amenity here of this type of structure, we will see an increase of rentals. We will see an increase of events here. Hopefully a much larger push of musical performances here. We have natural seating already in place. It's one of the greater venues that we do have in the city. We have man-made lake here overlooking pretty much just anything that you see is outdoors.
Now the city did commit some dollars to this project and certainly a lot of time and effort and energy, but predominantly the funds were raised privately. And we want to thank all of the Friends of Italian Lake, especially Mike Treffin and Peggy Grove and their committee, F&B Bank of course, and we will do more to talk about this when we have a ribbon cutting upcoming. But it is an example of an active community group wanting to sort of take matters in their own hands and support the city. Yes. Can you talk about that type of partnership and why it's important?
Another one of the member groups in there is the Park Partnership. Yep. This is their second assist with a pavilion. They also assisted with pavilion at 4th and Emerald Playground, as well as this pavilion. It's really strengthened us in certain areas. Actually, it's their third endeavor, but second pavilion. They also helped us get a swing set at 15th and Vernon back at the end of 2015. So we want to continue this, and we would like to see more groups get involved.
And that group's, of course, led by Jeb Stewart, who I know is very actively involved in putting this together. I want to thank everyone. Slowly but surely, we are improving all of our, 27 parks and playgrounds in the city of Harrisburg. Upgrading equipment, upgrading amenities. We just finished a major renovation of 4 of our playgrounds that a lot of people are getting to experience now. We have a 5th playground, 4th and Dauphin, scheduled for next year, which is going to be a big thing. But how we continue to work on small things, small projects, and how we involve the community, that's going to be a continuing theme as we get to the point where all of our parks and playgrounds are really what they should be, which is the crown jewel of the city. The real reason that people want to live in Harrisburg, and all amenities that are rooted in our neighborhoods and in the very fabric of how the city is laid out. So congratulations on this, Kevin. The city continues to move forward in very positive ways, and I hope the public will come on out and check it out. Do we have any concerts planned yet for the fall?
No, we're
not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, but I'm sure the Friends of Italian Lake
definitely in the spring.
We'll be together soon, and come take a walk around Italian Lake. The weather's wonderful, and we'll see you soon in Harrisburg. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here at one of Harrisburg's little-known gems, the Harrisburg Greenhouse. We are at Reservoir Park, and behind us you will see a greenhouse. And we're here in part to help get the word out about all the wonderful community groups that have come together to help bring this greenhouse back to life. Just a few months ago, pretty much every window pane in the greenhouse had been broken, and there were trees growing out of the center of it, and a variety of volunteers have all come together to help lead an initiative to restore the greenhouse. And I'm joined today by the City of Harrisburg's Sustainability Director, Christopher Naif.
Hello.
And he's going to tell us a little bit about the partnership that has been working behind the scenes to bring the greenhouse back to life.
Sure. So the city has been working with local coalition of local organizations since the springtime. It started, I believe, with Deloitte in April. On their Day of Giving, they actually came and did some work to try to clean up the area, clean up the greenhouse. And our Parks Department has been working with Deloitte as well as Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, recently the Harrisburg City School District STEM Coordinator, and a lot of other parties to restore the facility. In fact, recently there was an event where the local Glazers Union had come in and reinstalled a lot of the glass panels which had been knocked out or broken and damaged over time. I believe there was about 15 people from the Glazers Union had put back in about 109 glass panes to restore the building. They removed some of the tables from the inside, and as the mayor had mentioned, there was a lot of debris built up, overgrowth that was removed, as well as a tree that was growing in the middle of the facility. So we've got essentially the exterior of the building back restored. Some of the heating elements were removed from inside, and some of the old piping, so those things will be replaced and restored over time as we continue to work with the Greenhouse Coalition that we've put together for this.
And Chris, we should emphasize that all of this was done with private contributions.
Yes.
And at no expense to the city, although our parks maintenance team has provided some of the labor here to clean things up. Let's talk as we walk around the grounds.
Sure.
So people can get a sense of the scale of this facility. One of the things that is nice about it is that it's a fully fenced area. We are sort of down the slope to the west of Reservoir Park. And in front of us, we have beds that could be used for community gardens, for growing a whole variety of outdoor crops. And then we have the greenhouse. And you get a sense of the scale of the greenhouse now and how much work was done. We really want to thank the Glazers Union because they stepped up and did a tremendous amount of work that I would have cost tens of thousands of dollars if the city had to fund it ourselves. And really, one of the successes we've had is these types of public-private partnerships, which are working to bring back all of our parks and playgrounds. We've got 29 parks and playgrounds, and we've got assets like the greenhouse, and we've really been working together to see these things flourish. Now, as Sustainability Director for the City of Harrisburg, why don't you talk to folks a little bit about some of your responsibilities and maybe the new Environmental Advisory Council?
Sure. Well, a number of the responsibilities that I have deal with looking at the city's operations in terms of utilities, energy use, the ways that we can try to revitalize some of the facilities that we have and make them more environmentally safe, such as the parks. I've been working with the Harrisburg Tree Advisory Committee, and we have a pretty much complete inventory of all the city street trees and putting together some information in terms of the ecological services that they're providing, such as reduction of carbon emissions as well as reducing stormwater runoff for the city. One of the things that we have been talking with the school district and the STEM coordinator, as well as ideas for going forward with this facility, as well as we're trying to put together our composting facility, is to be able to actually utilize the compost that we are able to produce there and bring it in for the greenhouse as well as the gardens here, which we are intending to use, as you indicated, as a community garden, and hopefully be able to work with the school district to put a curriculum together to actually be able to bring classrooms out to learn about the whole process of creating compost, growing sort of fresh, healthy vegetables and fruits, preparing food, perhaps in the brownstone building if we're able to put all that together.
It's really the full carbon life cycle that we talked about. We I think a lot of folks know that we've been interested in establishing our own composting facility.
Sure.
You would head that up. But by having a greenhouse and the ability to utilize the compost internally, produce food, we're looking at a healthier city. We're looking at a great learning laboratory, really, for partnering with the school district. And these are the types of partnerships that I think really excite me, and I hope will excite the residents of the city.
Sure, yeah, and I mean, in addition to obviously the children in the school district, we are hoping to bring in community members to participate and actually be involved with maintaining the community gardens and these types of facilities going forward.
Yeah, and as we walk a little further along, you'll get a sense that it's really a historic structure, probably built in the 1920s or so.
1929.
Yeah. And it's an asset to the park. We recently completed a master plan for all of Reservoir Park, and it calls for new playgrounds, new trails, new traffic patterns, and we are hopeful that a part of that will be the full revitalization of this greenhouse. Not only do we have all these private organizations, but we also have our Parks Partnership, a nonprofit working, but now we also have a citizen-led group that is going to act in an advisory capacity to really focus on sustainability.
Sure. So we recently were able to appoint a number of community members to the Environmental Advisory Council. So it's an advisory board to the city, which is comprised of both some fellow sustainability experts, like from Capital Region Water, Chesapeake Bay Foundation, as well as local community activists, who are able to try to take a look at the types of things that are going on in the city and help us to identify areas where we can focus efforts to have a very positive environmental impact, and then also be able to try to do work like this greenhouse as well as the composting facility and improving our parks to provide more of a sort of sense of community and a place where people can be more connected with the actual environment here.
Yeah. And one of the things that viewers may not know is that since there is an incinerator here in Harrisburg, we get what is called a host fee for hosting an incinerator, which we can then dedicate to environmental causes.
Yes.
It's a few $100,000s a year, but it is enough money to seed things like composting or future work on the greenhouse, as well as other sustainability programs. We've got a wonderful partnership with the Harrisburg Housing Authority for an environmental jobs program over the summer for our youth. All these things have great potential for the city, and I think it's important that the public know that we do have a sustainability director heading this, and basically leading us into the future with really sustaining partnerships. So thank you for coming out today and joining us here at the greenhouse, and thank you for watching, and expect a lot more to come as we slowly but surely bring back to life all of our city's 29 parks and playgrounds and the many features that lie there within.